Well, Joy, I've got good news and I've got bad news.
No, good news and good news. It just depends on how you look at it.
I mean, I don't know. So the good news is that we're back again for another recap of the Cyber Town Hall, this time for August.
Okay.
The bad news is in July, we got a little eager and we were like, "Hey, AB, there's some things that we want to see on the agenda. Could you put them on there for us, or could you cover it for the ecosystem?"
I feel
It is
like you can hear us, Jason.
it is my unfortunate honor, I guess, to report to you that, they weren't listening and neither one of our
Thank
topics
you.
neither one of our topics made it. So I'm hopeful that it's next month, but my wish list is gonna be I might keep it the same. We'll see how this episode goes. But we're here. We're back, Joy,
Yep.
you and I, in the flesh, talking about the town hall for the month of August and everything that's happened. And we're eating a little bit of crow if you look at some of the numbers here. But I know, listen, let's just get all the negative out of the way here at the beginning of the episode, right?
All right.
So, our update and our CEO program welcome and update for this month's town hall kicked off with first and foremost some clarification. And this isn't where we're eating crow. I want to be clear here. Some
Okay.
clarification into the finalization of 48 CFR, the timeline of the program, and that crazy, pesky October 1st timeline that we've come to hear so often in many marketing emails. And so a couple things happened yesterday that really cleared that up. First, there was a class deviation issue that clears all this up. That states that October 1st deadline, that's nothing to follow. And what to follow is that the CMMC program will go live, right, when 48 CFR is finalized and published, right, and the
Yeah.
go live date for that. And so that's the first thing that Matt Travis covered when we came into the town hall. And now we get into the kind of eating crow, because the second update that was covered is one of our favorites for the past couple months because it's been so joyous. The ecosystem, how is it thriving? How many assessments are getting done? Boy, we're really cooking. Anybody else remember that?
I do.
So many assessments. LinkedIn post for me talking about how they are ramping it up 66% each month. And then they come out this month and there is a whopping 12 additional CMMC level 2 certificates that have been issued. 13, I think, right?
What
12 or 13,
happened
somewhere
there?
in that neighborhood.
What's going on,
Yeah.
Dawson?
Well, Joy, at first I was very disappointed. I was very sad. And then in a few short lines, Matt Travis said, "Let me explain." And he explained. So there were some duplications of some certificates, which again doesn't bode well for the numbers before, because how many of those massive jumps were duplicate certificates? But there were some duplications, those have been removed. This should be the honest 270 is the number right now, without, maybe a couple outliers here or there. It's a new process. We're ironing things out. But some positive news, I guess. No failures. There's no failures at all to report this month from the AB.
Are they sharing the failures?
They shared it last month. We had 8, so there were none reported. Or maybe this is again, maybe because we talked about it, or because it became a topic of conversation, or it was just a tease. I don't know. They were like, all right, let's just not do that every single month. Me, I'd like to think that there were no failures and everybody did a really good job at prepping for their assessments this month. And so we got that number update, Joy. And then the other number update we got a little assistance with the job that we do each and every month here, which is trying to gauge exactly the CMMC ecosystem growth as far as the certified professionals and assessors and such, the organizations that are, serving the DIB. And so usually what we have to do, or what I have to do, and I do it terribly, is I try to do the math. We've done this many in my head. Maybe if I prepped beforehand and I did the math and I just had it, on some sort of note in front of me, that'd be great. Don't have to do that at all anymore, because now the AB has done it for us. And just a quick rundown of the numbers showing the biggest growth coming from, well, 2 new authorized C3PAO organizations. So 2 new organizations jumped up. 524 organizations have applied to be there. There's no numbers growth in that, as far as like the AB reporting it to us. But the biggest one that I saw jump up was actually the certified professionals, the CCPs, jumping up almost 70 in 1 month. So you're adding 2, to 2.5 a day, right? And then the CCA applications jumping up largely, and then certified assessors, we're getting more assessors into the pool.
Oh,
3
those numbers are great. I mean, that's robust growth, and I'm really excited to see it. You and I have a lot of connections on LinkedIn, and it's been really fun to see. It almost feels like daily announcements of people that
Mhm.
are now getting their CCPs and CCAs. So, I celebrate those every time I see them. I don't care if I know the person or not. I'm so excited to see our ecosystem growing.
I 100% agree. This is a very interesting number, and I was just looking at the slide here.
Mhm,
There are 496 total CMMC certified assessors.
mhm,
304 of those are qualified or have been vetted to be a lead CCA.
mhm.
That's I think that's pretty good that, the lead CCA is, obviously further demonstration, further experience, more experience in it, and so many people talk about how, possibly people that may be doing CMMC assessments may not possess skills, expertise, competencies, even though they've been tested, even though they've gone through trainings, whatever it may be, right? And then the DoD to set forward a guideline in which these lead CCAs need to meet, and to have a majority of the people that are in the assessment pool to meet those guidelines set forward by the DoD, not by the AB, by the DoD. I think that's a great thing.
Yep.
So, one thing that isn't so great, Joy, is the fact that for the 3rd month in a row on the town hall, we're talking about the 10-day reevaluation period after an assessment. And so there was some, I don't want to say authoritative because obviously the AB says that we don't act as an authoritating source, but there is some further clarification at this point being distributed by the AB with regards to the 10-day assessment period, reassessment period.
I
Help me
don't
out, Joy.
Well, Jason, it didn't feel like it was further clarification. It felt like it was just a repeat for the 3rd month now of, "Hey, look, don't use the 10 days as a free card. Well, that's not what it's meant to be. When you're
Mhm,
presenting your evidence, the only way that you can leverage that 10-day reevaluation period is if you had pre-existing evidence that was not available for some reason at the time."
mhm.
But I'd like to park this one because we're going to talk in a little bit about the C3PAO Advisory Council, and we're going to tie it back to this. I think it's fascinating that we've got two kind of different messages happening in the same town hall. So we can look at it when we get there.
Yeah, we can circle back to that in the normal office jargon. Quick touch that that they jumped onto, and I know that Jacob and I covered this in a episode back, the False Claims Act against AeroTurbine, and just basically how not it just wasn't the DIP contractor that was on the hook for this one, but it was also the private equity firm that invested into them for their part. So just basically the only thing to touch on here, and what Matt touched on, is that necessarily uh, if you aren't doing the right thing, there's no little caveat that's going to protect you if the DOJ wants to come and investigate it, right? So if
Exactly.
you aren't doing things the way it's going to be, there's no little, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know is not a good excuse in FCA claims. From my experience, IMHO, right?
That's a big fine. 1.75 million for self-reporting and fully participating in the investigation with the DOJ. That's still a big fine, so it sends a pretty big message, right?
I would agree, but on the other hand, the self-reporting, what did you save yourself if your penalties are treble of whatever your contracts are? So
Mm.
what would have been the actual penalty and what it was? I st it listen, w $1.75 million in my world, whole lot of money. So no matter what, that's big to me. In some organizations, if the outset was, well, we could have been penalized 12 million. I think you made out pretty well by reporting on yourself. 1.75 still has to sting, but I think the thing here is that another small or another relatively small, medium sized business dip contractor that is a part of one of these claims, one of these settlements, and now the outlying tree that supports them, whether it be private equity, the external service provider, or whatever it is. Just everybody needs a CYA, and it's just basically CYA is doing the right thing and what you're supposed to do, and reporting what you're doing actually.
Yeah, good point.
Let's talk about reporting something else. I think that there is now, as we reported earlier, 270 organizations with the CMMC Level 2 certification, and obviously, it's a great achievement. We applaud everybody that has achieved their certification, and people want to show it off. But there's not necessarily an acceptable way to show it off, and this has been a conversation. Can I give out my cert? Can I show it off? Can I make this huge press release with my CMMC certificate number and the certificate pictured there? No, you can't actually. Or excuse me, they the AB discourages the public from doing that. So how, besides word of mouth, or companies, if they choose to or want to, supposed to show people that they have their certification?
Exactly. I mean, they can say that they have their
Mhm.
certification. They can say it on their website. They can say it anywhere that they want to, but they can't actually show any kind of graphic image of that certification. And there was a great post, our friend Allison Giddens did a great post about this, about how hard it is to garner the resources and the commitment from leadership to get through the CMMC certification, especially those that are the early adopters doing this. And then yet they're not allowed to prove it like in a meaningful way. It's just their word. Take my word for it. Right.
Yeah.
So it's
I
really a conundrum. I'd love to see an official certification badge of some kind.
Now, the AB did clarify that, for official business cases, like, if it's a prime, that's asking for your certificate, that okay to share that to them in the secure
Right.
channels, or yeah, or if maybe you're an
Our
ES
certificate,
yeah,
you know,
as an ESP, that's one of the cases
sure.
they put, like, to a C3PAO to prove that we've got the certification, this is a vetted environment, XYZ. But rest assured, all of you companies that have worked hard, Matt assured us that there is something in the background in the works for organizations to be able to display that they're certified. We'll just see when that comes, what it is. I would say it's probably a nice shiny little JPEG badge or something, but we'll see. Um, Quick little CS5 update. Obviously, just some programming news for CS5. Two things that I particularly took away from the town hall. Um, the appearance of the dynamic duo, Stacey Bostjanik and Katie Arrington, according to Jessica Morin from Forum Makers, have both accepted to speak at
Very
CS5.
exciting. I guess the travel ban doesn't apply if you can just drive over there, right?
Yeah, if you could just hop on Metro, or if it's on your way into work, just drop by.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I particularly like from this, that from CS5, this announcement, is that the roundtables. I think the roundtables are a great idea. It's a different wrinkle to a event, and these are topic specific roundtables on certain topics that are key, where there's a subject matter expert that will be sitting at the table and facilitating with normal dib contractors the question. It's a workshop, small brand workshops. I know that we work together a lot, and one of my favorite things to do is workshop, because it's like free form, and if you are able to speak and get people comfortable enough, the information that flows there is invaluable.
Well, plus you are going to be at a table with people that have the exact same concerns as you do. So what a great way to network and kind of shore up your own peer group as you
Mhm.
move through some of these larger issues that your organization may be facing. So I think that the roundtables are fabulous. I also like that we have an opportunity to include a lot more people from the ecosystem facilitating roundtables, not just presenting, because there's only so many sessions that people could
Mhm.
present on. So it's a great idea through and through.
Yeah,
Really happy for them.
I'm excited, and we'll see how it turns out. Washington, D.C.'s National Harbor hasn't let us down thus far.
Yeah. Hey, Jason, I just want to point out, kind of sad that Jessica, I forgot to remind her about this, but we are having a Women of CMMC dinner at
Ooh.
CS5. And you know what a huge success that was when we did it at, what was it called? Seek West,
Mhm.
the formerly known as Prince. But that dinner, I think that we have only like 60 spots or so. And I think that they're selling out quickly already. The registration site, when you go to CS5 and go to register, you can add on a ticket to the dinner. So I just want to point that out for those who have already registered. And again, it's women only. And that's why it's called Women of CMMC. But for those who have already registered, you can go and add a ticket on without doing a whole other registration.
And we'll get with producer Dustin. We'll make sure we flash the registration page for everybody to see, and then we'll include the link in this week's show notes.
Excellent.
As the residents women of CMMC dinner front door bouncer, the entry man. I can guarantee that the spots do fill up, and it's great company. I was lucky enough to be on the outside looking in. I wasn't invited to the dinner, but I liked the fact that the conversations, the laughter, a lot of conversations, a
Mhm.
lot of camaraderie. I was it's a great event, and I suggest everybody sign up for it. And we'll put the link in the comments or in the show notes again.
Yes, every woman sign up for it.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Joy,
yes.
one of your favorites was on the town hall this month.
Are you talking about Mr. Galooly?
Yes,
I'm a
in the
fan. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big fan.
in the flesh, just well, not necessarily the flesh, over the phone, provided an update for the tier 3 status, tier 3 background screenings and things like that for the CMMC certified professionals and assessors. And so essentially, without getting into too deep of the details, because there was a lot of information that was shared, we're going to share one particular screenshot on the screen right now, but there are some additional tier 3 enrollment activities that may have to take place that may be applicable, depending on where you are in your tier 3 screening process, or where you had it, or if you had a prior security clearance that's transferring over. And so it's very important to pay attention and follow the link to the town hall to listen to exactly the instructions that he provided and how it pertains to you for that.
Yeah, well, I think one of the most important things that I took away from that is the very last thing he said is, "We will contact you."
Mhm.
Right? Cyber AB will contact you to let you know if you have to participate in the new process. And
Mhm.
because I don't know if you were watching in the Q&A, but man, the questions were flying and so many people were so concerned about, it took a really long time. It's not an easy, fast process to get that tier 3 suitability
Who are
determination in
you
the first
telling?
place. Right? And so a lot of people were probably sitting there sweating bullets going, "Don't make me go through this again." Well, it only applies to a certain group of people, and so if you are contacted by the cyber AB, then pay a lot of attention to it, and it was great that they have a website dedicated to more information that'll be really helpful.
You said a lot of people were sweating bullets when they heard that news. It's me. I'm a lot of people. Yeah, I spend a considerable amount of time
I
trying to
know
figure
your
out.
journey was a long one, my friend.
Yeah, it was like,
My
I went to
goodness.
Oz, met the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion. It was just crazy. I don't know where it
Yeah.
came from, but,
Yes.
speaking of things that it didn't come out of nowhere, we knew this was coming, but we got the announcement and a little introduction to the C3PAO Advisory Council.
Mm.
So, uh, TLDR, the Cyber AB has established an external C3PO Advisory Council, 11 members, and it's a voluntary advisory board. And some main objectives is to provide reliable and knowledgeable source of authoritative C3PAO programmatic feedback, and to create a formal mechanism for the structured consideration, review, and recommendation of relevant information, technical interpretations, and prospective best practices for the benefit of the DIB and the CMMC ecosystem. Number two, I think, is going to cause the hair on your arms to tingle a little bit, Joy.
I think that this is something that's been informally in place for a while. I do think that the Cyber AB has done a good job of really including industry working groups. And I know the C3PAO forum is comprised of a lot of the most active C3PAOs. And for a long time, they've had a weekly meeting with the Cyber AB. So this is kind of, in my mind, just a more formal approach to it. I was happy to see it. Um, we'll talk a bit about the kinds of things that they're going to be focusing on, and the exclusion of people that are not a C3PAO, in my mind, that would have a lot of great input and guidance to share for some of the things that they're tackling.
Yeah, I do know that there was, if anybody wants to be included, there was an open call, right? Or there is
There's
going to
going to
be.
be an open call, yeah, and they said that they would be posting that soon. So
So I got to ask you, what would be some of the priority issues that you think that, well, they really reveal the priority issues that they're going to be tackling, and I just want to get some of your feedback on what you think on some of them.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
er
first, I just want to say, Jason, I don't know about you, but in looking at the list, and I think it was announced last week and then
mhm,
brought up at the town hall last night, but looking at the list of the people on the advisory council and who has what roles, I'm thrilled. I actually, I know almost all of the members of the advisory council very well, and they're super talented and really, really busy professionals. Like they are just overtaxed, I think, with the amount of commitments that they have. But I think that they also represent really strong quality voices for what needs to be improved in the ecosystem. So I'm thrilled from Scott Singer being the chair all the way down. I'm really happy for everybody that's on that council. But the topics that they put out there that they're going to be focusing on, importantly, first, I was so thrilled. I imagine you were too, that they're going to focus on ESPs that are not CSPs. In other words, MSPs and MSSPs, and
yeah.
how in the world that um, scoping that assessment process could take place and then how that is going to be leveraged because that's like in crisis mode right now. It's so open to interpretation and really needs a lot more guidance for it. So I'm very happy about that. What I'd like to see though, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, is it was disappointing that the advisory council, you cannot join and participate in a committee unless you're a C3 PAO. And in my mind, where the value is in the credentials of the people participating, not in what type of organization in the ecosystem they have joined, because there is so many, as you know, CCPs and CCAs out there actively helping in the actual implementation, and they're the ones that are on the front lines interfacing with the C3 PAOs and watching the difference from one C3 PAO to another and how things are being requested and recorded and the whole thing that um just by being a CCA or a lead CCA would have tremendous value and input, but because they're not with a C3 PAO, maybe they're with an OSC or maybe they're with a consulting firm or an ESP, they're not actually going to be able to join a committee. Now they could
Mhm.
be an advisor, right? And that's what you're speaking to is the call for participation or open call to participate in these. And it'll be interesting how many committees are going to bring on advisors from outside of their own C3PAO echo chambers, if you will.
Yeah, Joy, I technically don't have as large of an issue with the actual advisory council for the C3PO, being comprised strictly of only organizations that are C3POs, right? I think where I would take exception and where I feel like this would be a wasted opportunity for input is if we get into these specified tunnels of, maybe ESPs or machine shops or whatever it is, and you don't start incorporating the industry, the ecosystem, the people that have that experience in there, regardless of as to if they are a C3PO or not, right? Because if they are strictly C3PAOs, what you are providing is one-sided perspective into solving a problem.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see the impact or influence that somebody that's not actually on a subcommittee and is serving as an advisor to the subcommittee
Mhm.
has. I mean, we have yet to see it, but as I stated, everybody that I see on this C3PO advisory council, they're talented people. They're fair. They do a great job out there. So I'm hopeful that they do really embrace incorporating more industry voices on their advisor, in the advisor seat as they work on these subcommittees.
Yeah, I will say that, like you, I do share a tremendous amount of respect for a lot of names on this list, and so,
Yeah.
you can definitely look and see that these are people that are well deserved, and let's just see, where this goes, and hopefully, because of the respect that I have for some of those people and that they share some of the same opinions as to we need to engage industry more, and some of them are very good at engaging industry, I don't foresee this being a problem. I'm just saying the only time I would take exception is if it's just another echo chamber gaslit type situation, right? But one of the things that they're going to cover, and we said we would come back to this earlier in the show, Joy, 10-day assessor reevaluation period. But I thought we just got clarification, but the council's gonna get clarification. Wait, what?
Yeah,
Wait.
and so and the way and the wording on the slide, like, words mean something, and the wording on the slide is priority issues for deliberation.
Mhm.
The first one is the ESP conundrum. The second one is assessor discretion and 10-day reevaluation period. So it is interesting that while Matt is saying for the third month in a row, hey, that 10 days can't be used as a free card, um, the C3PAO Advisory Council has pinpointed that specific topic is something that they're going to be focusing on one of their two most important priorities. We'll see what that actually means. It sounds to me as if there's going to be more guidance at least, and where some have been overly flexible and some haven't been flexible enough that they're gonna find a way to meet in the middle for that. That's what I would assume.
I Yeah. Again, I hope that with the growth and the maturation of the Cyber AP, the CMMC program, the CMMC ecosystem, that you see more and more of this, and that it is a contribution to come out with the best overall outcome or the best overall interpretations or just whatever's just best period for the dip. And I think that that's what we all wish for. So
Yep.
from us, best of luck to you, right? Like
Yes,
that's the best way that we put it
Godspeed.
there. Um, so before we get up out of here, Joy, there's a couple things that we want to talk about that aren't necessarily this town hall agenda related, but we're going to go out on a limb again, and I'm going to ask you again. Let's just speak it into existence, right? If you build it, it will come. So
Oh, if I
our
present
step,
this cyber AB, what do I want for my cyber AB town hall next month?
yes,
Is
ma'am.
that
If we're just going to keep doing it, and just hopefully, like, just uh,
come on.
so, what is it, Joy?
I want clarification on some of the ethics and conflict of interest areas that, we're seeing happen out there in the marketplace, and especially in the ESP industry. I would love to see because I know and I actually it's sad to me that I saw a lot of this in the Q&A. Lots of folks are posting that they are emailing regularly how they're told to
Mhm,
and not getting answers. I'm one of them. I'm
mhm.
emailing regularly saying, I need clarification on this ethics question, and I'm not getting any answers. So I want to be giving good advice. And, as a provisional instructor, when I'm out there and being asked questions, especially because there's a whole ethics section, as you know, that we teach in the CCP classes, I want to be able to give good solid responses and just being able to give email addresses that are not going to be responded to isn't really helpful right now.
Yeah,
That's my big I'd love to see some answers on those.
I'd love to see those answers too, because like you, I spend a lot of time answering questions as to is this right or is this not right? These questions come in my inbox constantly. Hey, this took place. Is this right? I saw this person say this. Will you take a look at this crappy marketing? Right. And so, like, I'm like, yeah, all of these are bad. Please. The first step is for you to actually engage with the person that's a part of the ecosystem if they are a part of the ecosystem. That's
Yep,
another, tricky little wicket there, right? But if they're a part of the ecosystem, your first step and your responsibility as a part of the code of professional conduct is to say, hey, I don't think this is right. And you should do that in a tactful and a professional manner. And then if that response isn't satisfactory or if they don't respond, then ethics@cyberab.org. Send a little message in there and question it and see what's going on from there.
yep,
For me, I guess I'm going to die on this hill, Joy. Significant change. If it's not conflicts of interest, it's, hey, Jason, what's significant change? From my experience, again, this is what significant change is. Some people may say significant change is what you determine it to be. I'm going to tell you right now, with the way that people are getting in trouble and trying to play the I don't know, I didn't know that was a significant change. I don't think that's going to be a situation in which I want to be trying to defend myself in if somebody of a higher power like the DOJ comes calling to me. So, if
yeah,
I was an organization, I would want some complete clarity. From my understanding in the back end, there may be some in the works, but we still don't see it. And I think it's important because assessments are happening right now. Organizations are making changes and upgrades right now. There's going to be an uplift to a new revision of 871 sometime in the future. And all of those things and all of the measures that are taken to remediate whatever roadblocks those cause are things that, depending on interpretation, again, could be significant change and could trigger reassessment. For me, please cyber AB, please DoD, significant change clarity. Not my interpretation from my experience, not Joy's interpretation from her experience, or the 300,000 other interpretations that are going to happen. Something on paper for us to go by. Thanks.
I totally agree. 2
And then
good things for us to be asking for. I think that we're both spot on.
yeah, I mean, but we could, I guess we could ask forever. If nothing happens, like last month they didn't go for it. Let's try it again. Maybe they didn't know. It's new segments, got to catch on. Like and subscribe, please. But so lastly, I want to plug something that I'm super excited about. That we're super excited about at Summit 7. Um, these new mini workshops. I talked about workshops earlier and how much I like them. These new mini workshop events that we're hosting called Summit 7 Live come into kind of a city near you. Little small intimate settings with presentations half day, and basically to entice conversation, to promote the conversation, for people to get answers to questions that maybe in a larger environment, in a larger setting of a conference or something like that, they don't want to get on a microphone in front of 300, 400, 500 people and ask a subject matter expert or somebody about that. So let's give it to them in a more intimate setting where they can feel comfortable and we can foster conversations that are going to improve everybody's understanding and awareness of the CMMC program.
Yeah, and
You got
I mean, the fact that we're doing these regionally and bringing it to the people instead of asking people to come to us at one big conference, to really save on the travel time, even the day, it's a half day, right? So you can
yes.
get in, get out, still get some work done that day. It's a really great idea.
And it's at a good price, I'll tell you that. So it's good content at a good price coming to a city near you. 3 of them coming up, Joy. September, we're in Fort Worth, Texas at the Stockyards. All
Oh,
right. Stockyards is famous.
okay, that's gonna be fun.
Then the following week, Huntsville, Alabama.
Excellent.
And then in
Where the
November,
mothership is.
we're going home. National Cyber Summit week. I'll be there for that one. And then November 5th, it's going to be in Tampa, Florida. So we'll put links in we'll put a link to Summit 7 Live registrations. Again, good price, good content. Sign up for it. Enjoy. We always have fun doing this, but
Yeah,
unfortunately, it's time to go. So,
okay.
any last parting words for the audience with regards to Summit 7 Live or anything you got coming up?
No, just keep seeking the source of truth. Make sure that any information you're acting on is legit when you're getting ready for CMMC. Really happy to be here with you every month. Thanks,
Yeah.
Jason.
This was the perfect episode for me to end my work week and before I take off on vacation. So I will be out of here next week, sitting on a beach. And the only certifications or anything I'm chasing is a good tan and some nice breezes and waves and good times with my family. So, guys,
Very well.
like, subscribe, tell all your friends, and we'll see you next week.
All right.